Welcome. This is a Public Works podcast. My name is Joseph Blackman, and today I got a real treat for you. His name is Richard Heath. He is the Sewer Collection Superintendent at the City of San Bernardino Municipal Water Department in beautiful California. Richard, say what's up to everybody.
How's it going?
All right, so Richard, a birdie told me that there is a new superintendent in town as of 2 days ago. You want to talk about it? And then
sure. So I was promoted to my whole career has pretty much been on the water side, with a little bit of cross training here and there. About 5 years ago, I got promoted to the Sewer Collection Supervisor, and as of 2 days ago, I just my boss left about 3.5 months ago, and 2 days ago I just signed my offer letter, and as of October 20th, I will be the new collection superintendent.
For sure. What's some of the I guess realizations that you're having so far? Or you said, in a couple of days, like, are you gonna move offices? Are you gonna have a different letterhead? Like, what are some of the little changes you got to make that people think that don't know about?
Pretty much like, your signature on your emails have to change a little bit. As you can tell, everything's nothing on the walls. So actually, I was kind of rushing this morning because my boss, the director, told me to change offices. And so knowing that I was going to be doing this podcast, I had to hurry up and get my computer switched over with IT and everything. So it all worked out good, though. It all worked out good.
Good stuff. So sewer collection superintendent, some people might not know what sewer collections is. Can you give us a 30,000-foot view of what sewer collections is, and then kind of what your day-to-day is like and what it's going to be like?
Sewer collections is pretty much, in a nutshell, you flush your toilets, you turn on your sink. Some places have storm drains that are tied to sewer, but for us, we do not. But every time you flush your toilet, take a shower, wash your hands, it all has to go somewhere. So it pretty much flows out of your house or your business and flows into the pipelines that are beneath the street that nobody sees, out of sight, out of mind. And for us, it's pretty much getting your drop-offs, I guess you could say, or from point A to point B. It's that simple. So if I'm keeping everything underground and not out on the street, then I'm doing my job.
Love it. San Bernardino, give us the lay of the land, maybe population, miles of pipe, and then I guess maybe how many is in your crew, what kind of, how many trucks you're running, like kind of what the scope is and what kind of the tools Richard has to collect some sewer.
San Bernardino is kind of mixed in with a few different water departments. It's kind of like a spaghetti fingers with like the city of Rialto, Colton, Highland. We run about 200,000+ people, possibly even more. I run about 500 miles of pipe. Most of it, thank God, but most of it's all gravity fed. I have 10 lift stations, and that's it. So the really nice thing about it is we have one river basin, the Santa Ana River Basin, that I have to watch out, so for state water wise. But we are pretty much right below the mountains of San Bernardino. So everything is gravity fed. We are 100%, our water is 100% welled. And so we don't know that. Yeah, we don't traffic in any potable water.
Okay.
So we depend pretty much on everything that the San Bernardino Mountains snowfall and the rain.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, I got 9 guys to work 500 miles plus. I have about almost 900 manholes out there, maintenance holes. And so I'm running 4 trucks, but just enough guys to be able to run 3 of them constantly right now.
Yeah.
Plus, we have a CCTV van. So one of my guys are all constantly out there running, doing quality control.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. The the origin story of Richard Heil. You're going to be the new superintendent a couple of days now, but you weren't born. You weren't born in this position. You didn't just pop up one day and become a superintendent. So give us the career path from Richard Heil, like high school all the way up until today.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I wasn't playing around with a combination truck out there in my backyard going, hey, my parents just flushed some stuff down the toilet. I need to vacuum it up. No, that wasn't me at all. I was raised military, kind of traveled all over the place. Lived most of my life in Hawaii, which was actually kind of nice. But I was born in Beaufort, South Carolina. Then from South Carolina, we went to Hawaii. From Hawaii, I don't know if anyone knows about 29 Palms. It's nothing but a desert. Like I said, my dad was Marine Corps, so then we moved back to Hawaii, and from there we moved from Hawaii to Oceanside, Camp Pendleton, where I graduated from Oceanside High School. At the time, my career, I thought I was going to follow law enforcement. So I went to junior college and kind of went that path and realized that really wasn't going to be the path I wanted to take. And so I kind of jumped around from little bit here. And I started off with a small town in San Diego area called Fallbrook. So back in 94, I started with Fallbrook Water District. So I know I look like I'm 21, but
right. I was about to say, yeah, man. Still got a card,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
But back in 94, I started with Fallbrook Water District, left there, went to Western Municipal. And from Western, I landed here in San Bernardino. What's really kind of funny, like I said before, my background is on the water side.
Yeah.
I'm actually a welder by trade.
Okay.
When I got into the field, I started becoming a welder. I was a pipe fitter, did all the own installation, but every single water department that I worked for also had wastewater collections. And so we were cross-trained.
Yep.
And so I had my certifications and, state water certifications, CWEA certifications with wastewater. And next thing you know, I was offered the position for the supervisor for collections, and I jumped all over it. That's all she wrote.
For some of those who are on the water side and might look to make the jump to the wastewater side, what are some of the things to look out for, maybe best practices or a mindset switch from working from one side to the other?
There's not much difference. Just the mindset that depending on what your department does, some departments only do preventive maintenance. So all they're doing is going out there and cleaning lines. You got lift stations to monitor. A lot of places have construction also. So the construction on water, construction on sewer, pretty much the same thing, just the water's a little more dirtier. But yeah, for the most part, and the good thing about, the biggest difference between sewer and besides force mains is sewer is pretty much gravity fed for the most part.
Yeah, for sure. You're talking about your welder by trade. It's funny. I've been going down this rabbit hole, and it's like I've been getting my budget together. I want to have like a home setup for welding. Do I want to be like the grandiose welder like yourself? Not necessarily, but I want to be able to make some stuff in the garage. I want to be able to mess around, put some cool stuff together. That's an actual skill set that one can make a career off of. What do you say to those who are maybe like, let's say they are a welder or they are in a trade and they want to come over to the wastewater side, how to take some of those skills, take some of those talents and bring them to the wastewater side?
Every water department has welders. San Bernardino actually has two. They're actually in the process of restructuring their welding department. But like I said, when I was hired on as a welder with a 6G welding certification. But what you learn as a welder, it's for the most part somewhat even easier. I would say. You're not hustling, trying to get your own customers. It's the good thing about it is you're always going to have a paycheck. Everybody, no matter how you look at it, Trades is the way to go. I have, kids, and they're wanting to go to college, and which is great. But they also need to know that you don't have to go to college to make a good living, make a good life. And the good
100%.
thing about water is that's the one thing as human beings we need. We need
Yeah.
water to survive.
Yeah. You can't hack water. You can't, circumnavigate it or get around it. You need it. It's a necessity for sure.
Yes, sir.
What would you say is the main skill set somebody should pick up to be successful as a sewer collection superintendent?
The main skill set, I would say, drive. To be able to motivate yourself, to be able to, for the most part, if you're good with people, being a coach, being a role model, for the most part, as a superintendent, as I was moving up the ranks, like I said, I started with being in the field where you could just do your job and go home. Now you have guys to worry about. You have regulations, compliance, and all the good stuff that you never really had to worry about. But for the most part, if you can train, develop, motivate, be a mentor to your crew, that's the main thing. Because to be a good leader, you need to be a good follower.
Yeah, for sure.
To be a good, and to be a good follower, you can turn that into be a really good leader.
100%. You said the word motivate, and that's one thing I always like to talk about in regards to the maintenance side, because maintenance is different than operations. Maintenance, you're making sure something keeps going. You're keeping it, let's say, at stasis so nothing goes bad. How do you keep your crews motivated when, let's be honest, it's a lot of the same stuff day in, week in, month in, year out, to keep that, I would say that North Star of like, they're doing something good for the community, they're doing something good for their personal lives and families, but just keeping that motivation there to where they don't get, let's say, stir crazy and get bored of what they're doing.
San Bernardino is a very old system, and like the water department acquired. The water department is actually separate from the city. We got some ties to the city, but it's its own entity. It's got its own board, its own budget. Sorry about that. But for the most part, to keep my guys motivated is I involve them in some of the decision making when it comes to planning and what they think needs to be done. A lot of, like I said, our system's old. There's a lot of renovations that need to be done. There's a lot of capital improvements that need to be done. And as long as you can get your guys involved with the day-to-day business, they feel like they're part of it, that they are making a difference. And everybody on my crew has seen the good days, and they've seen the bad days where we're out at midnight, cleaning up the streets. And and the good thing about it is, I think we talked a little bit before we got on the podcast, is I'm really trying to push towards analytics and technology, and my guys have a lot of say in the matter of that. And
Okay.
When they see that the strides that we are trying to reach to be more efficient, that's a motivation in its own.
Yeah. In regards to technology, like the analytics, the big data, talk to those who are out there, let's say, doing it on a legal pad or an Excel spreadsheet, or even in their own brain, and they're operating so many miles of pipe. Explain to them what the data analytics technology can yield in regards to efficiency, and just kind of like knowing what's going on within your system.
Oh man, it's as a superintendent, supervisor, mid-management, whatever you want to call, what you're in, you never want to use the word it makes your job easier. But you always want to use the word efficient, be more productive.
Good, yeah.
But when we came here, like I said, the sewer always seems like it gets neglected. It's been neglected for years, out of sight, out of mind. And with technology, there's so much awesome technology out there that You can use dashboards, and you can get away from being reactive and just waiting for something to happen. For the most part, with sewer collections, it's a live system. It's alive. It's a living, breathing thing that will never stop. Water, you can shut a couple valves off and isolate it and keep moving. With sewer, that doesn't happen. And so to move from being reactive, proactive to predictive, and that's what the technology does. In the analytics, it helps you plan, it helps you budget, it helps you be predictive on what pipes we need to worry about when it comes to capital projects.
For sure. Okay. You talked about the good days and some of the stickier days, not necessarily bad, but just a little bit different. I need a story from Richard when something went wrong under your watch, what you did to fix it, and then what lessons you learned from it to apply to your future career.
Some of the things that go wrong is like anything's possible from one day to the next with a live system. You know, that's one good thing about our business is you can hope to plan for that day, but things can change in a second. But there was a spill that we had, which could have been dramatically worse. But you know, things weren't handled correctly the way it should have been handled without the proper training. So instead of finger pointing at, hey, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, we came together as a team. And like I said, I involved my guys. Instead of just saying you did this right, you did that wrong type thing, we got together. We developed an SOP on how to react to a sewer spill better, what to look for, what to ask, how to set up, you know, how many trucks we might need. I do training all the time. I actually developed, it's actually kind of cool, is I do with the new WDR with California. We have new stricter guidelines and compliance, and we have to do more training. Well, with the cool thing about this is with this more technology that's out there, you kind of your main goal is to have less spills. You want to keep everything in the pipes. So, but with less spills, out goes the knowledge that you would need to react to a spill if you had a spill. And so what I do is I have this training set up now. Is like I actually developed with being a welder by trade. I actually welded up an old 55-gallon drum, turned it into a mock maintenance hole with fire hose adapters and everything, with flow meters. And so I can actually throw this, pretty much put it into the street and turn on the fire hydrant. And then I call my guys up and I'm like, hey, we got a spill. And then I can go out there and we can teach how to do curbside, measurements. The site visual, measurements when it comes to calculations on a spill. So a lot of it came out, a lot of positive came out of not having guys to know what they were doing. Yeah. A lot of positive came out because now we knew what we needed to do to fix that.
That's pretty cool. You welded up a mock environment so they can get some reps on it.
Yep.
You know how it is. You never get live reps until a live situation happens. That's kind of the last time that's when you don't want to get live reps at it.
Right. And you're always going to have turnover. You have new guys that come in, and you don't want those guys to kind of stand around and I don't know what to do. I've never done this before, but just like firemen, they train every single day. So, and we're a lot of people don't realize it, but water department, sewer collections, we're first responders too.
100%.
And so we got to be out there just like anyone else if something drastically happens.
Yeah.
Can't put out fires if you don't have water.
Amen, brother. All right. What does Richard do daily, weekly, monthly to continue to get better and better? Like, where do you go intentionally to, whether it's find something to read, something to watch, something to learn to be able to operate more efficiently year after year after year?
Training videos, books, like saying mock spills, get out in the field, talk to other cities, departments. I'm in the process right now of starting up a mutual aid agreement for sewer collections, and which that is so with my surrounding cities, that if something happens and let's say all of my trucks break down, I can just pick up a phone and call the city of Redlands and go, hey, you know what, I got a spill, I need some help. But they could do the same. And so that's one thing that I'm working on, is trying to get something set up that all we have to do is pick up a phone call, and the cities will actually come out and help each other. You never have too much help, but when it comes to training, it's just knowledge, reading, staying up on CASA, when it comes to regulations, compliance, making sure that your emails are tied with other departments out there, staying networking with other cities. The greatest thing was what I thought was I just recently joined WEF with wastewater environment, and I went to Texas, to Houston, Texas, for that conference, and that was awesome. Nice. I met so many really awesome people, and realized that we're not the only ones here doing what we do. There's people all over the world doing what we're doing, and do it better. And it's nice to take a little bit what they do, a little bit what someone else does, and put it all together and make it your own.
Good stuff, Richard. Another question for you. I'm a firm believer that there will come a time where we'll have to hire for attitude and train for skill. I'm sure when you might see a little bit of turnover, you put out the job, or you put out the job order for people to put in their applications. You might not get exactly people who know about, let's say, wastewater collections. What have you seen or what have you experienced to be able to get good talent in that might not know anything about the industry, and then getting them up to speed as quick as possible?
Joseph, that's a great question, because I just had to revise our standard on being able to hire. I found, and I don't know if I'm almost positive I'm not the only water department out there, sewer collections, that really are having a hard time getting people to come in and work. And when they do come into work, to stay. So we actually, at one time, we had it set up that you had to at least have a commercial license. Because you have to be able to drive
like a CDL.
Yeah, you have to be able to drive the combo trucks. But we just hired in my age, I call him a kid, a younger generation. And when we hire now, I'm not looking for so much. I mean, it helps to have experience, but I'm not looking for that now. I'm looking for good demeanor, good attitude, positive, being positive, wanting to work. That's the biggest thing, is wanting to work, being coachable, because I can train anybody. It's training somebody it's not difficult. It's trying to get someone that wants to be trained. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah.
And so now it's pretty much, if you want to work for San Bernardino, just show that you want to work. I mean, I just got done training my new guy to go get a CDL, commercial license. He just passed it. Beautiful. And now we're working on with him to try to go get his a collection certification. Yeah. But that's what you have to do nowadays. It's hard. You got you don't want to blame everything on social media, but everybody wants to be a social media person. It's tough to find good people. It's just you show me a good attitude, you show me that you want to work, that you want to learn, and I'll do whatever I can to teach you. Sure. The getting them on is one thing, and retaining is a whole nother beast. And I see this echoed all across the country, kind of that same thing of like, I'm not finding people who know anything about the industry, or even know about like sewers, or know about pipes, or how to turn a wrench. It's more so they're finding people that, let's say, they just get off their parents' couch or out of their parents' basement. Their dad's like, you got to go get a job. Like, here's some industries that might work for you. And they show up. But what are some of the things that you can do to put them in that proverbial like headlock and say, hey, no, you're going to stick with us for 2, 3, 5 years. And then if you want to, go to another city or stay in the industry and go somewhere else, you can. But how do we
retain them. I mean, I've heard horror stories where you hire them on, go through an 8-month interview process. They work for 3 weeks and they say, "Hey, this isn't for me." So what's that best practice? Come on, man, give it to me.
It's tough. I don't know if there's a wrong or right answer to that. For myself, it's pretty much anybody. It has to do with the pay. A lot of it is industrial, and industrial trees need to get in and really take care of their people. For us, we're going to hire someone in that doesn't know anything about the business, that we're willing to train, willing to give you a trade, and they're playing. We're willing to pay you $30+ an hour. This is California too, so it's not like it's the cheapest place to live, but that's pretty fair to be able to come in, learn a trade, hopefully become part of a family. And I like to call it a family. We see the guys that we work with more than our own families for the most part. It's just to have a good attitude at work, to have a place that they are not waking up in the morning going, "Oh man, I gotta go to work." It's like it's the point where if you like what you do, it's not really work. It's you're getting paid to do what you like to do, and like you said before when we first started. Not everybody wakes up and goes, "I'm going to work with sewer collections." Yeah. I mean, it is a special trade, and it's different than anything else that I've ever been part of. It does take special people. But for the most part, it just takes someone that wants to have the will, have the drive, to do what they haven't done in the past, or just want to learn something.
Yeah. All right, let's say it's 2 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. You're in bed. You can't go to sleep. What's keeping you up at night in regards to what you do?
Oh man, what's keeping me up at night? It could be from employee issues. It could be from knowing that I have 3 evals to write in the next week. It could be that I've got my SSMP my audit's coming up pretty soon. It's constant, and a lot of things has to do is, did I do what I needed to do for that day? And how can I make the next day better? And I strive the best I can to stay positive, and I haven't always been, positive, but when I was playing baseball, I still play baseball. Matter of fact, I play men's league baseball, not softball, but hardball baseball.
Okay.
Shout out to the Halos in San Diego. We just took the championship. So
did you? Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's a long time ago when I was in high school. I was I'm a pitcher by trade, pitcher catcher, and I had a coach come up to me, and I had a temper when I was younger, a lot of that testosterone going on, but I had a coach come up to me, and I was getting mad because somebody would drop a baseball or not do what they had to do, and he came up and goes, for one, just do what you have to do and pitch, but he goes, "I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to get right now, but you will when you grow up and mature." He goes, "You have no control over your surroundings, only your reactions to them."
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, get out of here. I mean, let me go pitch, But you know what? I use that model every single day now. And some days aren't easy.
Yeah.
But for the most part, and not to, it doesn't matter. People don't like what I say, but you know what? I'm going to tell you what. If it wasn't for the good Lord, I wouldn't be able to accomplish what I did today.
Amen.
I owe it all to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it, man. Love it. I love it. Let's say you're at a dinner party. And of course, the question always comes up. So, Heath, what do you do? And you got to answer the question. You say, I'm a sewer collection superintendent. What do you think they think? What are some of the biggest misconceptions about what you do?
That's funny you say that, because it all depends on if I use the word sewer or not. Because if I just say, I'm a collection superintendent, they're like, "Oh man, you go out and you collect stuff, you're a collection." a tax collector or something like that. And I'm like, well,
Hey, checks in the mail, Rich.
yeah. So, but it's people look at it and goes, oh, okay, you know, because like a lot of times you just don't really go out and say, I'm a sewer collection superintendent. You know, technically I work for San Bernardino Municipal Water Department. But you know, I'm a superintendent for San Bernardino Water Department. And if they ask exactly what I do, I tell them, you know, I deal with 200,000+ people's crap all day long, you know, and I'm not gonna stand here and listen to yours too. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
No, I'm just kidding, you know, but you don't meet, you know, people in the sewer collections every single day, you know, and so when people hear about it, and you know, they really don't picture exactly what you do.
Yeah.
When someone flushes their toilet or turns on their sink, they just expect it to disappear.
Yep.
And that's about all they know. So the conversation kind of changes real quick after you tell them that you deal with you know, their feces all day.
I'm sure.
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm sure. Who would you say is your you know, your red phone or your black line within, you know, the city of San Bernardino? Like, who are you talking to the most in a different department? Like, it could be PD for XYZ, it could be fire, it could be, you know, parks and rec for a certain situation. So who's Richard mostly talking to internally that might be another superintendent / director?
You know, it's I talk to engineering a lot. You know, I talk to engineering quite a bit.
About what? Just
about just anything. Sewer line repairs, new installs. You know, making sure that the contractors are in compliance, are following San Bernardino's standards. There's a lot of fly-by-night plumbers out there that just want to do what they want to do, and you know, as a water department, not so much that we want to make sure that they're not messing our system up, but they're also not ripping off our customers and not doing what they're doing, and then a customer has to go out there and fix it, you know, 2 years down the line because they didn't do what they did. But you know, I deal with public works a lot, with streets, you know, sewers in the street. You know, I deal with when we go to CCTV a line and we come across you know, an orange line that has been bored through our sewer main. You know, so we deal with a lot of people, but you know, telecommunication, gas. But for the most part, the biggest entity that I deal with is the engineers and public works streets.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's say your commissioner put up a billboard, and this billboard is in the most trafficked area of San Bernardino. What ask of your community in regards to sewer collections would you put on this billboard? And you can't say don't flush flushable wipes.
Yeah, you just took exactly what I was saying.
My collection guys always say that, man. We gotta have something.
You know, I think it would almost be the same thing as be considerate. You know, be considerate of it's just like Caltrans out there or the state highway workers. You know, be considerate about those guys out in the street. You know, that we have a job to do. You know, we're not out there trying to disrupt traffic just because we want to. We got things to do. And you know, there's sometimes it's 110 degrees outside and we're out there in front of our truck out on the asphalt. Just be considerate. Know that we're out here for them.
Yeah.
It's not so much that we're out here for ourselves. You know, yeah, we get a paycheck, but we're out there for them, to protect them.
Yeah.
You know, that's any kind of disease you can think of is in the sewer pipes. And as long as we can keep all that in the ground, we're protecting the customer. We're protecting the public.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say, and to kind of dive into that a little bit deeper, what would you say is the most impactful pat on the back for your guys and girls out there in the high vis equipment right now? Like, would it be, you know, saying what's up? Would it be dropping off some donuts, dropping off some Gatorade? Like, what would be something that if the community was listening to this, they can thank the workers that are out there in the collections right now?
You know what? You just said it right there. It's not so much the what you can buy us, but it's going out there and just saying, hey, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate what you do. That goes a long ways.
Yeah.
anybody can go out there and buy donuts or a bagel or a Gatorade or a water. We get that, and it's very much appreciated.
Mhm.
But what we do not get every single day is someone coming out there and go, you know what? We know you're out here in the rain, in the heat, and a lot of people don't realize that we are trying to protect them. We're trying to keep our infrastructure safe and sound, so we don't have sinkholes, so they don't drive into a hole in the street, or there's sewer flowing out, and then when they flush their toilets, it's all going somewhere instead of backing up into their bathtubs. Just a thank you. That's the biggest thing. You can never get enough thank yous.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I always like to leave a space on the show for you to thank mentors that you had along your journey. And then I want you to give a word of inspiration, kind of a baseball pep talk to your fellow sewer collection superintendents across the country.
Be kind. Be kind to your guys. Motivate. Let them learn. Teach them everything you know. Because if I'm not here, I want my department to run like I am here. And if it doesn't, that means I'm not doing my job. Just be compassionate. Everybody's human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. If the biggest thing, if I can say, is when you have guys, is we're all going to make mistakes. No matter what position you're in, we're going to make mistakes. But if you can learn from your mistakes, they're not mistakes, they're lessons.
Right. For sure. All right. Let's say I'm coming to town and I text you ahead of time. I say, Heath, where can I go to get the best burger in San Bernardino? Where are you going to send me?
Burger Point, brother. Burger Point. 444 West Mill Street.
Okay, you got the address.
Yeah.
You've been there a couple times.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. I take my vendors there. I take vendors or people that come into town.
Yeah.
They've got the staff there are amazing. The owner is amazing. Shout out to Muhammad out there for Burger Point. He's a great guy. And they will treat you like family. And food is just amazing.
Okay. All right, Burger Point it is. I like it. Well, Richard, thanks for hopping on the podcast today. Thanks for sharing your wealth of information and knowledge with us. To all the listeners out there, make sure you share this with somebody who you think needs to hear it. Richard, any final words before we get out of here?
Be kind. Be kind, brother. Be kind.
Love it. Amen. All right, Richard, have a great rest of your day. And this has been the Public Works Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.